Price is Wrong, bitch. Welcome back into the Bro 4 Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is episode 44. I'm your host, Jeff Hornacek. We are a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. Before we get started, let's go around and meet the gang joining me tonight. First, as always, we head into the lab to the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Brian, you're back after a one-episode suspension for a violation of pod rules. So we have to ask, did you learn your lesson?
Let me answer your question with a question.
Please don't.
No.
Not even upward inflection? Not even no? And next we go to good friend of the pod, Nate Thurmond. Nate, remember that time that we stole a horse, but it actually ended up being a person?
Yeah, we were pretty strung out on ecstasy, cocaine, and I believe hooker spit that night.
Yeah, it was the craziest fourth grade field trip I've ever been on.
It wasn't bad.
And finally, to our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Hey, Geiger, quick question. What's your deal?
I don't know. What's your deal?
Good answer. Anyone that steps back up to me, I instantly respect. All right, guys, we break our show down into three main topics. The first topic is the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chest day. So we actually had this topic come to us from a drunken debate that we had on Super Bowl Sunday, and it needs to be said. We've already declared the year of 2018 the year of the comedy. 2017 kind of sucked for comedies, we'll be honest. But if you listen to our 2018 year preview and movies, we said comedies are going to be back this year. So we started talking, what are our five favorite, or in our opinion, the five best comedy movies of all time? And I think we need to have this debate on the pod. And if you're out there listening, please tweet at us at Bro4Squad and tell us how right or wrong we are. And tell us your list, because someone's going to die here today. Brian, we'll start to you. We'll go to you first since you're coming back from your suspension. You're probably chomping at the bit. What are your five top comedy movies of all time? And if you can put them in order, please do it, because that just gives us one more thing to get.
Banner was in Cabo all week getting in shape since he was off for a week.
Him and Ezekiel Elliott.
I think he was there getting shaved, too.
Yeah. That was
He looks ripped.
Yeah, I think I was more just getting shaved than I was actually getting in shape. Because let's be honest, if I'm in Cabo, I'm just pounding the drinks. Hands down, best comedy movie is Snakes on a Plane.
Like, really?
No, not really.
Okay.
But it is a comedy movie.
You say not really. You've made dumber arguments on this.
Yeah.
Geiger was like, we're going to do this now? This early?
No, I can't really put these on any given day. One of these will be better than the other one, and one of these will be lower on the list. But five of my favorite comedy movies are Superbad, Wedding Crashers, Happy Gilmore, Team America, and Tommy Boy.
Wow.
That was probably, if I had to go today, we'll go 5-1, Tommy Boy being one.
I'm really pissed at myself for forgetting one of those.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, and I think over the past week discussing this, my top five has changed about 87 times. So
it's better than 88.
It's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun.
Team America is not a movie that gets talked about much, but it kind of changed the game, so much so that it didn't change the game, because no one's going to try and do what they did with puppets and making it R-rated. They have a puppet sex scene where one puppet shits on another puppet in the movie to an original song being sung by Matt Parker.
The Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they both combined into one.
You combine them into one human. The soundtrack on that movie is fantastic. I used to have it in high school. It's one of the funniest soundtracks.
The Pearl Harbor song is incredible. Isn't it?
Exactly.
All right, Geiger, let's go to you, Banner. That's a hell of a list. I really wanted to pick it apart and take a crap on it, but I can't really do it. Geiger, what are your top five comedy movies of all time?
For the sake of just not naming shit over and over, these are the more 90s alternative. Not all of them from the 90s, but you kind of get my drift, where it's like alternative music. So the first, I think one of the greatest comedies ever is Airplane. Yeah. I like this slapstick comedy. A lot of people have tried to redo it, like all the scary movies, but they just can't capture it. It's got a great cast, and I just think it's fucking hilarious. And maybe it's because it's not on TV that much anymore. I don't see it as much. Every single time I see it, I laugh out loud.
Is that your number one?
That's my number one.
Okay.
I knew you were gonna
My
pick
nu-
that. That probably would have made my list, but I knew you were gonna pick it, and so I left it alone.
It was the first comedy I ever watched with my father, and I think I was like 3, and I had no fucking clue why it was funny. But as I got older, it was hilarious.
Did you know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was at the time?
I knew who he was. Which I thought, like, at the time, I thought all athletes were actors too. Whenever I was that young.
It's a safe
my-
option.
My number 2, as a huge Star Wars fan, once again, going with movies that make fun of other movies, Spaceballs number 1. Spaceballs is the greatest movie to make fun of another movie, period. There is no one better, in my opinion. Great cast again. Rick Moranis fucking kills it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is my number 3.
Fuck, I forgot about that one.
That's a great fucking movie. Damn
It's
it.
so fucking good, especially in high school. I think it's the greatest high school movie ever. There's a lot of great high school movies. That movie, because if you're ever in high school or middle school, you just don't want to fucking go.
Yeah.
And just how he has a system of getting out of school every day, and then what he does is fantastic. Banner, you're on the right track, but you picked the wrong movie with the South Park creators. Basketball comes in at number 4 because that is a fucking fantastic movie that people forget about
Yeah.
so much.
I know, but I think it's their third best movie.
I don't think so. What's better, South Park Bigger, Longer,
Bigger,
and
Longer, and Uncut, and Team America. I mean, they're all great, but
South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut to me isn't even in the greatest South Park episode, so I don't consider that their greatest movie. Basketball is hilarious, especially if you watch it today. It still holds up how athletes just want money and that's all they care about. Another movie that I watched in high school that I thought was okay, but now that I'm in the real world and this movie has gotten better with time since I work in an office, is Office Space.
yeah.
Yeah.
That movie is so good, so well done. Whenever I was in high school and drank a lot, didn't quite get it. Now that I work a 9 to 5 around people that I can't fucking stand, that is a fantastic movie. So that's my top 5.
Yeah, that's such a true point. Like watching it back in the day, you're like, oh, it's funny, I get it. But as you grow older and get into the stupid shit that you have to deal with every day with people in general, it gets funnier and funnier.
It's almost scary because Lumberg almost becomes less funny when you realize how fucking true to life.
True it is,
Fuck,
yeah.
that's me.
You're like, oh my god, this isn't funny. This shit is. You're like getting the scariest thing about having to go back
I
to work.
hate to be the old man on that one, but honestly, if you're like in middle school and listen to us, like, thank you for listening to us. Like, we act like we're in middle school, but that's a movie that you'll only get once you're in the work world. Like, you'll
Yeah,
fully
piece
get
of
it.
advice: don't grow up. I don't know how. That's up to you to figure out, but don't do it.
And honestly, in that situation, if I got put to work in a basement, I kind of like it because I don't have to deal with stupid people shit all day.
And basements are fun, man. You can put up posters. It's really cool. All right, Nate. On that note, what are your top 5?
Okay,
comedy
so we're gonna go bottom to top 5 to 1 here. So starting off, it's kind of a dark horse in the race, I feel like, but Three Amigos,
Yes.
Ooh.
classic.
Geiger is a huge Three Amigos fan.
And
I'm just
I
a huge 80s comedy fan. I think 80s had the best comedies.
And this goes along with his favorite of Airplane. A lot of physical slapstick comedy, really great stuff. But Three Amigos is a classic that I'm never going to get away
And
from.
a cast in their prime that was
Oh,
just
God.
like out of control.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
we ever get a trio like that in a comedy movie doing what they
Old
do?
Old school is probably the closest.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
I don't know.
Jesus, man.
So number 4, another classic, seen it 100 times, and actually, I think this is what sparked this conversation. I was watching it last weekend. Dumb and Dumber.
Mhm.
I don't know if it gets any better than that.
Insanely quotable.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's one of those ones where you don't even have to watch it anymore because you just know it.
You've lived it.
But you do have to watch it anymore.
And so I do, at least once a month. Coming in at number 3, thanks for ruining it, Geiger, is Old School. And I really think this kind of set off a new era of comedies. After that, 2003, it came out, and then you got a big string of Vince Vaughn
Oh yeah.
and a ton of other guys just repeating. And I think it kicked off the whole Judd Apatow kind of 40-year-old virgin in that genre.
This is where Vince Vaughn found that sweet spot of playing like the asshole who you just want to hear be the fast talker.
Oh, absolutely.
Funny story about Old School. I remember seeing it in theaters, and when I was leaving, I remember a guy behind me saying, "This is the start of Will Ferrell," because that was his first actual, besides like Zoolander stuff, that was his first big role coming from Saturday Night Live. Then after that, we got a steady dose of Will Ferrell for about 8 to 10 years.
And now we don't want him anymore.
Yeah, now we don't want him though.
Yeah, unfortunately. So coming in at number 2, Going old school again, kicking it off with a little Christmas Vacation.
Wow, great fucking movie.
As much as newer movies are quotable, I still quote this one on a regular basis. It's one of my favorite movies. Always watching it around Christmas time. And fuck, I'll watch it during summer. I don't give a shit.
Here's even a bigger debate within a debate. That's the best that's the best vacation movie, right? Or
No,
is
I like
the
the
original
first one better.
Vacation?
I like the first one the best.
I like European Vacation. No, I don't.
Get out of here. Go
I like
away.
it because it shows tits. That's about it.
Oh shit! All right. Well,
I love the first one. We'll have that.
I like
later.
Vegas
I love
Vacation
the
as
first
well.
one.
Vegas is
good
good.
too. Yeah.
I just don't think any of them stack up as well as Christmas. I think that's Chevy Chase.
I agree with you.
In their prime. And coming in at number one, little crossover here, but Wedding Crashers, one of the most quotable movies. That came out 2 years after Wedding Crashers, so it was right in the wheelhouse of that, and it's just stuck with me. And I mean, I can quote the whole thing through and through, and never gotten away from it.
Geiger and I can verify there are a lot of people that used to think we were really funny until they realized that the only thing hilarious we ever say is from the movie Wedding.
We just quote. Yeah, we just quote movies. We're not really that funny.
They're like, you're not funny, you just have a good memory. All right, my list is going to be pretty boring because a lot of these have already been said, but I have two that I haven't heard yet. In order, number 5, Superbad. I know you said that you liked Ferris Bueller's Day Off as a great high school comedy. This is another great fucking high school comedy, though. Great coming of age tale, and the only role that I could ever see Michael Cera or McLovin in. 4, Dumb and Dumber. Nothing else needs to be said about that. Number 3, and that, Geiger, kind of to your point about watching Airplane as a kid and being like, I shouldn't be watching this, and that makes it 10 times more awesome. Caddyshack for me. And again, a cast put together: Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray. The list goes on. Just incredible in the 80s.
Perfect golf movie.
Great.
First day of spring, always watch it. Great movie.
And then number 2 and number 1 for me, boring answers, but I can't tell a lie. Number 2, Old School, and number 1, Wedding Crashers. Do I like Vince Vaughn? I don't know. Maybe. So fucking sue me. Don't
Kind of
sue
now.
me.
He is great.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts
It's
before
another
we move
great
on?
movie. Forgetting
I'll,
Sarah
I'll
Marshall.
just say, Dumb and Dumber was said a couple times. I love that movie, but honestly, if you give me Ace Ventura 2, I might watch that just as much because Ace Ventura 2 is fucking hilarious too, or the first one.
The first one.
But
too.
Jim Carrey had a stint there from like 93 to 95 where everything he made was like honestly one of the greatest comedies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So in '94, you had Ace Ventura come out, you had Dumb and Dumber come out, and you had The Mask come out.
Oh, in the same year?
God.
That's not interesting. Liar, Liar, which I think was 95.
Which brings
Which is a good movie.
Which brings me to another point, which I've made this vocal many times. '94 is maybe one of the best years in movies, and there's a list that can go on. Shawshank, Lion King, and so on and so forth.
That's another question we need to
Jurassic
bring up in a
Park?
future episode.
Yeah,
Best
Jurassic Park. Yep.
movies. Wow, Jurassic Park was that year too?
Yeah.
Shit. Look out. All right.
But that was in the past, Jeff.
Oh.
Oh, man.
On to our next topic. After any bro lifts, what do they need? Not steroids. You're supposed to take those before. I mean, not at all. It is our protein shake. So there's a topic we shake up real quick. Guys, I don't know if you know, this last Sunday there was a football match that took place called Super Bowl 52, and apparently some trailers aired during it. A lot of podcasts you're listening to out there give you the trailer reviews, and people are going to say, I'm excited for Avengers Infinity War. Well, yeah, no shit. Like,
Not
thanks.
excited at all.
Yeah.
Not
So
excited.
what we're going to talk about, here's some of the trailers that happened, and we'll just do rapid fire. Did you like anything? Did you not like anything? Red Sparrow, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Solo, A Star Wars Story, Skyscraper, I'll get to that. Mission Impossible Fallout, The Cloverfield Paradox, A Quiet Place, and then the Avengers Infinity War movie. Geiger, we'll go to you first. What positive or negative of those stood out to you, and do you like sports?
Yeah, sports are cool, I guess, when my fucking dad makes me do them. But I thought it was a pretty shitty Super Bowl, and this is why, for ads, trailers. I mean, the good ones were good. The ones that I actually really wanted to see, I liked. Black Panther didn't really have a trailer, but they did a car commercial, which I thought was cool. But the other ones, there was a movie that popped out that wasn't really on my radar that I'm like, I have to see it. Listen, I get it that 2018 is going to be the year of the woman. I have no problem with that. But Hollywood's so fucking lazy. It was like, what if Oceans were women? What if James Bond, like Red Sparrow, is a woman? What if American Pie, women made a sex pact instead of the men did? Like, dude, write some original shit, maybe I'll see it. The Ocean's 8 movie, I actually am kind of into seeing, but it's just so fucking lazy that it's like, oh, Danny Ocean has a sister that no one ever said about. I don't really care about any of these trailers, but like Solo and some of them, yeah, they look cool, but they're already on my radar. All the other ones look like shit.
Yeah, that Black Panther commercial, I bought a Lexus already because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that worked really well. Nate, any trailers stood out to you, positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, the Solo one, I mean, it's not going to take much for Star Wars to get me half a chub, and that got me full bore. So,
Yeah, it was awkward because you had sweatpants on at the party.
hey, you got to show it off.
You got to flaunt it.
But the other ones that were there, a Quiet Place, I'm really interested in seeing that. I'm a huge John Krasinski fan from The Office, but I also really loved him in 13 Hours. So I can't wait for that one to see him in kind of a more of a serious role.
I love how he's like, hey, if I have a beard, just know that I'm going to be serious, okay?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck that movie's about.
That's how
but
you know
almost-
I'm serious. I always have a beard.
That has a
But
negative effect on you.
But you don't have a shirt on, so that it kind of cancels each other
Yeah,
out.
but you do have a tie on, which is confusing all of us. Like you want to be Donkey Kong.
And on top of A Quiet Place, Skyscraper actually surprisingly has me interested. I mean, I like The Rock. It's gonna.
Dude, I'm with him.
Hey, fuck you guys. I think it's gonna be great, and I
Get
like
the
it because
fuck
it's
outta here.
no. Listen
Fuck
here.
you guys.
Listen,
We'll do the
listen
review
to
on our
my,
own.
Listen to my perspective on this. I like it because they're taking a peek in the future, and I think they're going the whole VR aspect. Everyone's in a virtual reality now, and so people are gonna love this new tall skyscraper city where you're in your alter reality. So fuck you guys. I like it. Go see
As
it.
the only WWE fan on this fucking podcast, I'm just getting sick of defending the Rock. I feel like the old blonde chick that was for Trump that always has to explain all this stuff he tweets. Like, I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of just backing all the shitty movies he makes. But yeah, that one actually kind of looked okay. I'll give
Nate
you that.
Thurman and I will be at Skyscraper opening night drunk, and when The Rock inevitably takes off his prosthetic leg and fights someone with it, we're going to be screaming at the screen. So I wanted to compliment Skyscraper real quick. Is it a masterpiece? No, but I'm going to have so much fun seeing that in theaters. And then I actually thought Mission Impossible Fallout looked pretty good. I think Henry Cavill finally, as a villain, is what it looks like, or an anti-hero, is kind of a cool take. And the premise of this and how it's all practical action, I think is cool. Say what you want about Tom Cruise. I still like his stuff when he's not in like a weird sci-fi movie. I still think he's a good action star. I didn't see The Mummy, so yeah, that's hypocritical, but that movie looked fucking awful. You can't blame me for that.
No one saw it. Banner, what do you think?
All right, so Red Sparrow, yeah, it kind of intrigues me. Check out our Cloverfield Paradox review. We've already talked about that. It was fantastic. Go check that out. I'm still saying it. Solo is going to surprise the shit out of us. I've watched that trailer 5 times, and I keep going back and forth each time I watch it, whether I'm in or I'm out. Skyscraper, get the fuck out of here. Mission Impossible, yeah, I could take it or leave it. We didn't talk about Infinity War, but we don't need to because we're all going to see it anyway. And Jurassic World 2, get the fuck out of here because it's going to be terrible. All right, they're taking over the goddamn fucking mainland, and I'm going to hate it.
Banner. Whoa.
Banner has
The
Banner's
biggest
just-
Jurassic Park fan we have, and he's
I
just,
think Banner's lost sleep over that. Yeah.
I have. Why are they're doing the same fucking movie?
Okay. On to the final part of our show, but first, Brian, I think there was a question that you wanted to ask everyone, right?
I can't even ask it anymore.
He's
I will
gonna kill
normally
us.
Banner in a high-pitched voice says, "Do you even lift, bro?" There we go. Geiger with the bell. God, this is great. This is our question and answer segment where we dig up some questions from the internet called "Do you even lift, bruh?" Our first question comes to us from Tyler McLaughlin at Reviews from TCM, who asks, of all the depictions of science fiction and the future in movies, which film do you think is the most likely to happen? Banner, we'll go to you first.
Mars Attacks.
Do you care to elaborate?
Like, yeah, explain.
We are not the only intelligent beings out there, right? I think we can all agree
No.
on that.
We all know this, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm just not an intelligent
I
being.
mean, look at LeBron. There's no way he's human.
exactly. So there's always the debate of, well, is a zombie apocalypse or are we going to be attacked by aliens? Zombie apocalypse, medicine is where it's at. We're going to be able to stop that shit. Seeing World War Z, yeah, that's realistic. But aliens coming and attacking us? Nah, we ain't got no shot.
What? You sound so high right now. The answer you gave me earlier was way different. Something changed.
Yeah, well, that's because I like this answer better. My
Okay.
other answer was I think we're actually very close to bringing back an extinct animal, like Jurassic Park. But we already talked enough about fucking stupid Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, you got upset at the
So
franchise.
I got upset at the franchise, so I couldn't say that one. So Mars
What'd
Attacks.
you think about the trailer?
Did you like it?
I love
Geiger, we'll go to you.
I kind of have two. I know that's cheating. One is I work with a bunch of women, and they won't use any products that are tested on animals. And they showed me a list. And if we keep testing on animals, like Planet of the Apes could happen. Like how we just like test on them, and they're like steroided out and crazy and take over. And the other one I have, the other one I have is The Martian, because if Matt Damon keeps making these shitty movies, like someone might just send him to another planet just to get rid of him.
Honestly, if we just keep using social media the way we are, we don't even need to experiment on apes. I think they'll just inherently pass us in intelligence. I don't even think it's.
As we're staring at our phones all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm on the tweets. I'm on the tweets right now. All right, Nate. What is a possible scenario or a science fiction, something depicted in a science fiction movie that you could see happening in real life?
So obviously a huge science fiction topic, as Banner also hit on. Aliens. We're going to throw it back. I think that with all this Elon Musk getting to Mars, all this coming out, aliens are coming. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to hate us, but it's going to be kind of a friendly banter kind of way. We're going to get Space Jam coming back, and we're going to get some intergalactic sports going on. So we may have KD and LeBron joining up. I don't know. They may join the Monstars. Who knows?
They're
What we
definitely joining the Monstars.
Whoever's running the Monstars, we need to like somehow just make them think that the WNBA is like the premier league on Earth, and then they'll steal their talents. And then
Joke's on you, it is.
Yeah.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay! That's a good one. Elon Musk would definitely be the one organizing the Monstars. He would be Danny DeVito in this situation.
He may be an alien himself. Who knows?
Mine's pretty simple. The Matrix is going to happen, but with probably better acting than what Keanu Reeves did, because VR is already a thing, so that's almost guaranteed. And then another thing I was trying to think of, I don't know if there's a movie out there. There probably is. If you know it, tweet at us at Bro4 Squad, where someone marries a robot. Because I'm pretty sure that's maybe, if it hasn't already happened, it's like going to happen.
It's
in the next
definitely
couple months.
already happened.
How far does Bicentennial Man get in the sack?
Third base, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
not bad.
He gives a solid hand job.
And on that note, we have been the Bro4 Squad. For the mad scientist Brian Banner, for our enforcer in the paint Matt Geiger, and for our great friend Nate Thurman, I am the mayor Jeff Hornacek. Follow us on Twitter at Bro4 Squad. Subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes, Bro4 Squad, 3 words. If you could leave us a 5-star iTunes review, we'd appreciate it. And check out everything we're doing on our website, bro4squad.com. Thank you guys for listening, and we will check you next time. Is it a hand job if he's a robot? What do we call it?